that's considered the marketing savior for the sport.
So many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough.
The game is physical. Caitlyn is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops, who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave a damn.
WNBA players are upset with Caitlin Clark's recent offer from Europe because they feel entitled to a large contract as well, one that is worth more because they have been in the league longer.
Ow!
Oh, I'm sorry.
You poked me in the eye. You're You did.
I did not poke
Did you do it on purpose?
I did not poke you.
Did you do it on purpose?
The NBA will collapse if Caitlin goes overseas because she will be the highest paid athlete in the world, something she truly deserves, and she may at last be in a league that respects her versus players who aren't trying to bring her down.
I wonder if Caitlyn, in every post-game press conference, she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place, it's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one direction.
Given that Nalissa Smith was filmed laughing with DJ Carrington over the viral eye, why would Caitlin want to stay in a league where even her own players turn against her?
I was just saying it wasn't to the degree of Caitlin Clark being on that basketball court and people watching her, but nevertheless, rising tide lifts all boats.
That's Caitlin's own teammate, and we have DJ Carrington asking, did you do it on purpose mimicking Caitlin? Her team hasn't showed any signs of supporting Caitlin either. Instead, they have been sharing highlights of Smith's season. Now that it's obvious that the opposing players don't want her in the league and that her own colleagues are making fun of her, Caitlin has even more cause to leave. She should accept the offer from the EuroLeague and leave the WNBA, where they are pleading with her to come back.
There were a lot of people that laid the groundwork that deserve shine as well. Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
We don't have Andrea.
Remember, you got
we don't have any of the women, Chanae. They'll come back on. We'll revisit this conversation gladly.
That's Caitlin's own teammate, and we have DJ Carrington asking, did you do it on purpose mimicking Caitlin? Her team hasn't showed any signs of supporting Caitlin either. Instead, they have been sharing highlights of Smith's season. Now that it's obvious that the opposing players don't want her in the league and that her own colleagues are making fun of her, Caitlin has even more cause to leave. She should accept the offer from the EuroLeague and leave the WNBA, where they are pleading with her to come back.
There's a reason 12 million people are watching ESPN for a game. If that game was on CBS, they probably would have had 25, 30 million people watching that game.
Caitlin Clark's contract with a European team isn't just another move. It's a clear indication of the disparity between opportunities available for some WNBA players and those who can command attention overseas. However, why does this particular move cause so much emotion within the league? Caitlin, who just recently made the transition to professional basketball, has managed to attract international attention that players who have been in the league for years haven't been able to achieve. Asa Wilson, one of the biggest names in women's basketball, hasn't received the kind of offers that Caitlin has.
The most watched WNBA games in over 2 decades. What does that tell you? That tells you that before Caitlin Clark came along, it wasn't nearly as popular. It doesn't mean it wasn't growing in popularity over the last 2 to 3 years. But 3 years ago, WNBA was an afterthought.
Asa Wilson is frustrated by Caitlin's move because it sends a message to the rest of the WNBA. She has long felt that being the league's MVP should entail more than just a title. In her opinion, MVP status should automatically come with the best opportunities in terms of contracts and recognition. However, what she's seeing now is that Caitlin Clark, who hasn't played nearly as long or accomplished as much in the professional realm, is receiving offers that someone of A's caliber should be receiving.
Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlyn's being used as a pawn. Caitlyn didn't bring systems to the WNBA. This has been happening.
While Caitlyn was still playing at the collegiate level, her games were packed with fans who couldn't wait to watch her play. But Asia wasn't drawing the same crowds at the WNBA level despite being the MVP. This highlights the harsh reality that skill and accomplishment don't always equal financial reward in the WNBA, which is why Asia's frustration goes deeper.
I gotta say, she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's not. That's wrong, Molly.
Monica,
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's
five
excuses.
top players,
It's
am I
excuses,
right?
Molly. It's
Major
excuses.
injuries.
You would not be saying that if it wasn't UConn.
Major stars not playing.
Listen,
You gotta go.
it's her against Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
You
A.
got there.
Wait a
Don't want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you, if
Paige
Georgetown
Becker-
get back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now.
What?
If Paige Beckerson basically missed 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking
Come on
about
now.
Caitlin Clark the way we are now.
DJ Carrington's hostility toward Caitlyn. It's no secret that the two players have a history together, and Carrington's hostility reached a breaking point during the infamous EY Pook incident that left Caitlyn with a black eye rather than expressing regret for her conduct. Although Carrington is a talented player in her own right, she hasn't been able to achieve the same level of fame or success as Caitlyn, which has led to a sense of bitterness that was only made worse by the eye poke incident. Carrington's decision to make fun of Caitlyn further escalated the tension between the two.
A lot of this noise came by people that were sitting on this network. They tried to minimize her, said, well, you giving her all this credit. What about the women that came before her? What the women came before her, what they did cannot be taken away. That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark.
This kind of behavior goes beyond professional rivalry. It's personal. Carrington's resentment and disrespect towards Caitlyn are evident, and Caitlyn has had to deal with them throughout her time in the WNBA. Nalissa Thomas has sided with DJ Carrington in their shared animosity towards Caitlin Clark following the eye poke incident, which is especially concerning. The WNBA is meant to be a place where players support one another and work together to elevate the league, but instead she's facing open animosity from her peers. This creates a toxic environment where players are not only competing against one another, but actively working to tear each other down. Nalissa was seen laughing with her girlfriend about Caitlyn's injury, displaying a complete lack of empathy for her fellow player. This kind of behavior is shocking, especially coming from someone who should be a professional athlete.
All I know, when they got eliminated from the playoffs, the attendance dropped, the ratings dropped. If the WNBA is more, it is, and I get it. Why aren't people watching?
The annoyance Caitlin Clark faces doesn't stop at her interactions with other WNBA players. It extends to her own team. The Indiana F. In professional sports, a team is supposed to represent a safe and supportive environment where players are united in a common goal, winning games and achieving success together. It's about trust, collaboration, and solidarity, especially during challenging moments. However, for Caitlin, the reality with the Indiana Fever has been anything but supportive instead of rallying. Around Caitlin, who was clearly the victim of a physical injury, the Indiana Fever seemed indifferent, failing to publicly defend her or even acknowledge the situation in a meaningful way. Caitlin, this must have felt like a betrayal. Not only were her efforts being sidelined, but her own team seemed more interested in celebrating the achievements of others, rather than protecting one of their star players. The situation raises important questions about the internal dynamics of the team. If a player like Caitlin, who has brought so much attention and value to the WNBA, isn't getting the backing of her teammates and coaching staff, it signals a much deeper issue. A team is supposed to create a bond that supports players both on and off the court, but in this case Caitlin's teammates and staff have chosen to remain silent or focus on other players, which sends a clear message that her personal well-being and contributions to the team don't carry as much weight as they should. The lack of support Caitlin experienced isn't just about a single incident. It speaks to a larger issue within the team culture. For any athlete, especially someone of Caitlin's caliber, feeling isolated or unprotected by your own team can be emotionally draining.
All the women that have been calling for the equality, and now that there is the chance for them to start getting paid more because the exposure's up. Because it's her, you have people like, what's her name, Jamelia Hill or what? I can't stand her. Yeah. You got these women who are coming on here and they're saying it's because she's white.
It can undermine a player's self-esteem and cause them to feel alienated, which affects their performance and general satisfaction in the league. It also makes Caitlin wonder if the WNBA, and especially the Indiana Caitlin's decision to think about playing in Europe, is further complicated by the fact that Fever are the best places for her to continue her career. After all, why would she stay in a circumstance where her own team doesn't seem to support her? Not only would she probably make more money and encounter less animosity from rival players, but she might also find herself in a more respectful and encouraging team environment. European leagues are renowned for giving their top players the resources and support they require to succeed. For Caitlin, the Indiana Fever's lack of support could be the last push she needs to relocate abroad.
Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not.
The WNBA has always had trouble competing with other major sports leagues, so losing someone like Caitlin who could draw in new fans could be devastating. The worry is that Caitlin's move to Europe could set a precedent if one of the league's biggest stars can leave for better opportunities abroad. What's stopping other top players from doing the same? The WNBA could find itself in a situation where its best talent is playing overseas, leaving the league with fewer star players to attract fans. Caitlin's departure could be the tipping point that would undo years of hard work and advancement. This isn't just about Caitlin, it's about the WNBA's future as a whole. Angel Reese, DJ Carrington, and Asia Wilson are aware that the league can't afford to lose its biggest stars, but Caitlin's departure indicates that the league isn't doing enough to keep them. Caitlin Clark's decision to sign with a European team could have long-term effects on the WNBA. The league has spent years trying to grow its fan base, increase viewership, and establish itself as a major player in the professional sports industry. Her presence on the court brought in fans who might not have otherwise watched WNBA games, and her ability to connect with audiences made her a vital asset to the league. When Caitlin stopped playing during the playoffs, the impact on viewership was immediate. Fans who had tuned in to see her suddenly lost interest, and the numbers reflected that this presents a serious problem for the WNBA. The league has worked tirelessly to increase its visibility and grow its fan base, but Caitlin's departure puts all of that progress at risk. Without one of its biggest stars, the WNBA could see a significant drop in viewership, which would not only hurt the league's bottom line, but also its long-term growth. Faces from her fellow WNBA players isn't limited to just a few individuals. Many players in the league harbor jealousy and bitterness towards Caitlin, despite the fact that she has done more to elevate the league's profile than almost anyone else before. Caitlin's rise to fame, the WNBA struggled to attract fans and keep viewership numbers up, but with Caitlin in the spotlight, the league has seen record-breaking attendance and increased media coverage. Yet instead of celebrating Caitlin's success and the positive impact she's had on the league, many players seem intent on tearing her down. This resentment is largely fueled by jealousy. Caitlin's ability to draw in fans and secure lucrative contracts has made her a target for players who feel that they aren't getting the same opportunities. It's a toxic environment, and one that has made Caitlin question whether the WNBA is the right place for her. Analysts, considering everything she's gone through in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has every reason to think about relocating to Europe, where she would be paid more, encounter less animosity, and have the chance to continue developing her brand without the constant negativity that surrounds her in the WNBA. Europe offers Caitlin a fresh start, a place where she can concentrate on her game and continue to draw in new fans without the drama and toxicity she's currently dealing with. Without Caitlin, the WNBA runs the risk of losing its biggest star and, consequently, its expanding fan base. The WNBA is already having trouble competing with other major sports leagues, so losing someone like Caitlin could send it into a downward spiral. If you liked, please leave a like and subscribe. More videos are now available. Caitlin has drawn more attention to the WNBA than almost anyone else, and her departure could result in a sharp decline in viewership.